Hey, it's Leanne here, and today I wanted to share just some personal insights about things that I discovered about myself um, doing the work on myself, but also while I was exploring the programming that I'm creating for other women. So right in front of me, there's a dry erase board that I was brainstorming on the other day, and my latest program called the Ditcharella Story Experience, which I lay out the story from bitcharella to ditcharella and help women do the same thing. So helping them, women that feel stuck, that aren't in love with their lives, or know that there's so much more of their life to be had. There's a bigger, better, grander version of their lives, but they're really fed up not living it and not knowing how to access it. And so the only reason I ever create programs is because they start out first and foremost for myself. And so some of the bullet points that I came up with on the dry erase board I wanted to share with you because I wanted to share with you just personally how they came about. So just I'll start reading them, but the first one says and remember, I'm trying to get inside the mindset of the women that I ideally want to be working with. And so women that they want more fun and enjoyment in their life and they want to design their life. Well, that side of it just came about because I was sick of not enjoying my life and not feeling like I was designing it. Like I was kind of just going with the flow of it and I didn't have a say in the matter. More enjoyment and comfort and love in my body. So that just came about where I got to that point where I was just so sick and tired of hating on my body and hating on my injuries or hating on my fascia or whatever. I've been doing it since I was a little girl, and so I just got really tired of being okay with it. More meaning in my work, my life, my relationships, and my conversations. So um, I am one of those people that I like things to have meaning. I like to, don't get me wrong, I like to have some of the superficial and immature conversations just like the next person, but I also really like to be able to talk about things that matter and that are meaningful. And so I got to the point where I was sick of not feeling like my work and my relationships and the conversations had meaning, or I was seeking out more. I wanted more enrichment, I guess you can say. And so but I wasn't able to go really actively seek that out until I said, okay, I'm sick of not having the meaningful relationships and experiences and conversations that I truly want to have. More influence on my life, my habits, and my work. So I got to the point where I was just like, okay, I'm sick again, once again, of my life influencing me as opposed to me influencing my life. And so it's a matter of, updating my habits and updating, getting sick of where you're being and saying, you know what, I'm ready to do something about it. So we all have the power to influence our lives to the max, but we don't necessarily use that influence all the time. And then I put more feeling like a sexy, confident woman despite what I weigh or wear. And so that was me realizing that I completely like pushed my girly side back from a very young age because I was trying to fit in with my three older brothers, right? So I wouldn't, today I actually just, I felt like curling my hair. I was like, you know what? I didn't feel very good. I had a bit of an upset stomach, and so I got up and I was like, you know what? I feel like I saw a picture of myself with curls in my hair, and I was like, I feel like just taking it, like having fun, even if it's a waste of time and it falls in 10 minutes or whatever when I go out in the Florida humidity, I'm going to take out my girly side and I'm going to curl my hair, and I put some curls in my hair and I just had fun doing it. And it was just, there was nobody telling me not to do it. There was nobody, making me try to shrink myself and not be feminine and all that stuff. And when I say feminine, I mean, things that I do now that I kind of didn't do. Things like dancing and singing and being girly and doing my hair and makeup and all that stuff. So feeling like a sexy, confident woman, despite what I wear, despite what I weigh, and despite whether I have makeup on, which I now in my life I don't wear makeup a lot anymore, and I used to never leave the house without makeup. And being able to kind of accept myself raw and free of all anything else extra, it was a big turning point for me as well. So more experiences of my choosing. So traveling, eating good food, relaxing and disconnecting when I want to. And so I was traveling a lot, but I wasn't necessarily traveling when I wanted to and where I wanted to go. It was based on whether I had to go do something for business or whatnot, right? When it came to good food, I had this whole other relationship with food about, I wasn't able to actually enjoy my experiences of food because I was too busy in the moment feeling guilty about what I was eating or wondering if how it would look, or whatever. And then relaxing and disconnecting when I want to. I have the good fortune now, or I've created it in my life to be able to go disconnect and either go to the lake or go to the beach or whatever. But I, up until recently, have been using it straight up out of necessity. Like when I get to that point where I'm about to spill over and my cuppeth has run over, it's more like a therapy than a prehab type of getaway and relaxation. So, and then the last thing I wrote was, more doing and less wishing and saying. And for me, that was just, I saw myself saying things and not fulfilling my promises to myself, and I just got sick of it. And so where am I going with all this? I think everything I just mentioned, it equates to personal freedom. Do you feel free in your life? Do you feel free in your body? Do you feel free to be yourself in your relationships and your conversations? Do you feel like you're free to be you in your work and in all the roles that you play in life? Can you show up as your authentic version of yourself? And everything I just listed were my places that I wasn't, adding up in my own mind, or I wasn't living my life to the fullest, and there was a cost. The most important part about it was me reconciling that there was a cost, that all of these things that I mentioned about not feeling free in my body, not feeling free in my work, and not having meaning and the impact I wanted to have and the enjoyment and the freedom I wanted to have, it wasn't benign. There was a big cost to it. So what I want to kind of, pass on to you is, if you're not satisfied with where your life is headed or where the direction of your life, in terms of getting real, notice nowhere on this dry erase board did I talk about how fat my thighs are, or how much I suck, or how weak I am, or how powerless, or anything like that. It's not a personal attack, but it's more of like an audit of, there's more in my life to be had, and I'm not showing up as the best version of myself. Where is this lacking? And so that's why I'm able to connect with the women I work with so seamlessly, because I am them. They are me. And I'm still inside some of the struggles that I mentioned. I'm still working through them every single day, but I know where I am in relation to my struggle, and I know that where I am not in relation to my struggle, meaning I don't identify myself as my struggle as much as I used to. And so if you can start getting real with yourself on this type of level, like what's the cost in your life, without being overly critical or without making it a personal attack on yourself, you will learn so much about yourself and where you want to raise the bar, or where you don't necessarily know how to raise the bar and you need some help. You need someone to help you see what you're not seeing, ask you the questions that you're not asking yourself. And maybe it's just a matter of you need to just go curl your hair. Maybe a curling iron is the answer. So I hope that just made you think a little bit, and this wasn't me just sharing a sob story of my life. It was me sharing my wake-ups, where I needed to wake up to what my life wasn't, as opposed to just beat myself up or give myself shit for what my life wasn't. It's more of a wake-up reality check than this everyday diatribe of self-hate or self-loathing. And trust me, the reality check is a whole lot easier. So go curl your hair, don't do drugs, and I'll talk to you soon.